Good evening, traveler, and welcome to Tale Clips. Tonight, you will set aside the weight of your day and step into a world of wonder. Here, the air is calm, the campfire is warm, and each story is woven to carry you gently into rest. Allow the sounds of this tale to surround you as challenges turn to triumphs, and quiet magic unfolds around you. Either now or after you wake, like, subscribe, and comment any suggestions that come to mind that you'd like me to include on my channel. Your feedback is highly regarded here. Now, breathe deeply, let your mind drift, and prepare to journey where imagination and dreams meet. Tonight, the story is yours. The tavern door swings shut behind you, and the soft warmth of the firelight greets your skin. The scent of roasted meat and spiced ale drifts through the air, mingling with the faint perfume of wood smoke that clings to every rafter. You slip inside quietly, the murmur of voices wrapping around you like a blanket. Here, in this humble gathering place, the town seeks a measure of peace against the shadows that press at its borders. Tonight, though, the mood feels different. Heavier. Every laugh you hear sounds brittle, every tankard raised seems more an effort to remember joy than an outpouring of it. You take a seat near the wall, and only after your eyes adjust to the dim glow of lanterns do you notice the hush at the heart of the room. A woman stands near the hearth, her hands clasped tightly before her as if she might crumble without them. The flames behind her paint her face with shifting shades of sorrow and determination. Her voice trembles when she speaks, but it carries. "They've searched all day," she says, her words catching. But still, no sign of him. Little Elian, he hasn't come home. The murmurs ripple, tightening into silence. A child's name spoken in such a way has weight in any place, but here in this town, the boy carries a deeper meaning. You don't yet understand why, but you feel the way everyone listens, not with idle pity but with reverence and fear. Something about this child is more than ordinary. An older man at the corner table clears his throat, his lined face etched with worry. "The woods are restless," he mutters. "Too many have gone missing before. But never one of the chosen." Chosen. The word lands heavy, unfamiliar, and yet electric, as if whispered into the marrow of your bones. You feel it stir something within you, a sense of pull that is both strange and undeniable. You find yourself rising before you even decide to. The scrape of your chair draws a few curious eyes, but you feel no shame. You step closer to the firelight, closer to the woman whose eyes lift to yours, wide and pleading. And without quite knowing why, you hear yourself speak. "I'll help find him." The tavern quiets. The only sound is the crackle of wood giving itself to flame. The woman's lip trembles, and her eyes glisten. She bows her head, as if a prayer has been answered in your presence. Outside, the night air is sharp with the bite of early autumn, carrying with it the distant rush of wind through the trees. A lantern is pressed into your hand by a young stable boy, his face pale but his grip steady. "The woods will test you," he says softly, his voice far too old for his years. "But they'll tell you truths, too, if you're willing to listen." The path out of town is narrow, winding between cottages that still hold the flicker of candlelight in their windows. You feel those tiny flames at your back as you step further away, as though each one is a prayer pushing you forward. Beyond the last cottage, the forest looms, its edge a dark curtain of branches swaying in the chill breeze. You take a steadying breath and cross into its shadows. Inside, the world narrows to the glow of your lantern and the chorus of nighttime sounds. The whisper of leaves, the rhythmic hum of insects, the occasional snap of twig underfoot. Every step feels heavy with meaning. Somewhere ahead, a child has wandered, or been taken, and with him, the heart of the town. You notice it first as a tingle at the edge of your awareness. The forest is not silent, yet beneath its noises runs a subtle hum, a vibration that thrums in your chest. It is not hostile, but watchful. You pause, lantern held higher, and the shadows stretch long and strange across the path. A fork in the trail greets you. Left, the path dips lower, toward the murmur of running water. Right, it climbs, branches thickening overhead, blotting out the stars. You sense that both directions carry weight, that this is no ordinary choice. The air itself seems to lean toward your decision, waiting. As you stand there, undecided, you hear it, faint, almost lost in the breeze. A child's laugh. Not the scream of one afraid, not the cry of one lost, but a small, joyous laugh, as though something wonderful has just been discovered. It comes from the path that leads upward into the denser woods. Yet just as your ears lock onto it, another sound emerges from the opposite trail, the steady rush of water, and layered beneath it, voices. Low, indistinct, not childlike at all. The kind of voices that murmur in unison, their tones too deliberate to be chance. Your heart beats faster, though not in fear. In awareness. The town's child is close to one path, yet the other promises a different kind of revelation, one tied to the forest's secret hum. You tighten your grip on the lantern. Somewhere in the woods, Elian waits. And perhaps, so too does the truth of why he matters so deeply. You step forward, and the forest leans closer, as if listening. You take one more breath, the cool night air filling your lungs, and you tilt the lantern toward the path that climbs into the dense woods. The child's laughter, though faint, had a clarity that no imagination could weave. It echoes in your mind as though it were meant only for you to hear, an invitation, or perhaps a test. The path feels alive the moment your boot touches its soil. The air grows cooler, the canopy above closing tighter until the stars are only shards of light piercing through the branches. The laughter fades as you press on, but you sense its memory threading through the trees, urging you forward. The hum beneath your awareness deepens, like the forest itself is watching your steps. Your lantern's glow paints the bark in shifting shades of amber, and each tree seems older, wiser, as if their roots reach not only into earth but into something deeper, something that carries memory. You notice markings on the trunks. Not scratches of wild animals, not carvings of idle hands, but deliberate etchings, spirals, lines crossing like constellations, symbols that flicker faintly when the lantern passes. They almost resemble stars in motion. The more you see, the more you realize the forest is guiding you, not trapping you. A calm settles inside, steadying your breath even as the path grows steep. Then, movement. At the edge of your lantern's reach, something stirs. A figure. Small, slight. For a heartbeat you believe it is Elian himself, standing among the trees, his hair catching a silver gleam from the moon above. But when you draw closer, the figure remains just out of reach, darting away with the swiftness of a shadow. You hear the soft crunch of leaves, light as a child's step. "Wait," you whisper, though the forest swallows your voice. You quicken your pace, following the fleeting glimmers of movement, until suddenly the path spills into a clearing. The trees give way to a circle bathed in moonlight, the grass shimmering as though touched by frost. In the center lies a stone well, its surface etched with the same glowing symbols you saw on the trees. You stop, heart steady but curious. The well hums. Not with the sound of water, but with that same vibration you felt in your chest before, only stronger, fuller, as if it is alive. Leaning closer, you see no water inside, only darkness that shifts like a sky without stars. Then you hear it again. The laugh. High and soft, drifting up from the depths of the well. "Elian," you call, though your voice feels swallowed before it can reach the bottom. Instead of a reply, the forest stirs. From the branches overhead, small motes of light drift downward, fireflies, you think at first, but brighter, almost crystalline. They float around the clearing, circling you in lazy spirals before gathering near the well. Their glow joins together until an image forms, a faint, shimmering outline of a child. The image tilts its head, as though studying you, and you feel no malice from it. Only a request. The air thickens with silence, and then, without words, the vision gestures toward the trees on the far side of the clearing. A new path lies there, one you hadn't noticed before, shrouded in mist. You glance back at the well. The laughter has ceased, leaving only the soft hum. A choice, once again. The clearing feels like a crossroad of meaning, the well's depth promising hidden truths, and the misted path promising pursuit. The outline of the child fades into the fireflies, scattering into the night sky until only the moon remains above you. You feel your lantern grow warmer in your hand, as though it, too, is listening. You step toward the misted path. The fog curls around your ankles like soft ribbons, and each step echoes faintly, as though the ground beneath is hollow. The deeper you go, the quieter the forest becomes. No insects. No rustling branches. Only your breath and the rhythm of your steps. Then, through the mist, you see something strange, a faint glow of color ahead. At first it is blue, then green, then gold, shifting like a prism. You press forward, and the mist parts into another clearing, smaller than the last. At its center stands a single tree, enormous and ancient, its trunk wide enough to rival a cottage. Its bark glows faintly, and nestled among its roots is a toy. A small carved horse, worn smooth from a child's hands. Your heart lurches. Elian was here. Recently. As you kneel to pick it up, the tree's glow brightens. A voice, soft as a sigh, fills the air, not from a mouth, not from any single direction, but from the very space around you. "Why do you seek the child?" The words aren't hostile, but they carry weight, as if they demand not just an answer but truth itself. You feel the lantern steady in your hand. You know the town needs Elian. You know he is important. But standing here, before a tree that hums with age and wisdom, you realize the forest wants your heart's answer. You draw in a breath, ready to speak. The question lingers in the air, as if the ancient tree itself had whispered it. You stand there in the hush of the mist, lantern-light casting gentle patterns against the glowing bark, the carved toy horse pressed in your palm. The air is expectant, still, as though the forest is listening. Yet before you can frame words, before your mind settles on meaning, the tree shifts. Its roots stir beneath the earth, not violently, but with a slow, steady movement, as though breathing. The glow spreads from the trunk into the soil, a delicate pulse of gold running like veins through the ground. The toy in your hand grows warm, and a quiet hum rises, vibrating through your bones. The forest has heard what lies within you, even without your voice. It has taken your resolve, your intent, and weighed it. The mist begins to thin, curling upward like smoke until the moon shines again, pale and round through the branches. The roots of the tree part slightly, creating an opening just wide enough for a single person to step through. It is not a door but a passage, leading downward into earth lit with a faint, otherworldly glow. You hesitate only long enough to steady your grip on the lantern before descending. The air grows cool, damp with the scent of stone and moss, but it carries no threat. The path spirals gently, the light from above fading until all that guides you is the soft radiance emanating from the roots themselves. They line the tunnel like strands of starlight, showing the way deeper. At last, the descent opens into a cavern, vast and unexpected. A subterranean lake lies before you, its surface still as glass, reflecting not only the roots overhead but also shapes that shouldn't exist within reflection. The water shimmers with colors you've never seen before, hues beyond description, as if the lake is holding the memory of dreams. And there, on the shore, small footprints. Bare, fresh, pressed into the damp earth. They trail close to the water, then vanish at its edge. You crouch, touching the prints, feeling the truth of them. Elian was here. He walked into the lake, or was led. As you rise, movement ripples across the water's surface. At first you expect a fish, some hidden creature disturbed by your presence, but then the ripple grows. A shape emerges, rising smoothly, without a splash. A figure formed of water and light, tall and graceful, its features both shifting and clear. Its face is neither man nor woman but something timeless, its eyes glimmering like stars. It regards you silently. Then, in a voice that resonates like 100 drops of rain falling at once, it speaks. The child is not lost. He is called. The words are calm, unshaken by urgency, yet they carry power. You feel them vibrate in your chest, as though the truth they hold is not for your ears alone but for the deepest parts of you. You take a step closer to the shore, lantern raised. The figure tilts its head, as though amused by the light. He walks a path between worlds, the voice continues. Few are chosen, and fewer still return. But his journey is not his alone. The figure lifts a hand, and the lake stirs. From the depths rises another shape, smaller this time, faint but clear. A child, formed of water and light, his face bright with wonder. Elian. He does not appear afraid. He does not even glance at you, but gazes upward as though watching something only he can see. The taller figure lowers its hand, and the image dissolves back into ripples. Silence follows, deep and still. You stand unmoving, heart steady but full, the meaning of the words echoing through you. The boy has not simply wandered, he has been chosen for something far beyond the reach of the town's fear. Yet why you have been brought here, why you are allowed to see this truth, remains unanswered. The water figure slowly steps back into the lake, dissolving into the surface until only the shimmering reflection remains. The cavern darkens, and the glow of the roots fades, leaving your lantern the only true light. At the edge of the water, where Elian's footprints vanished, something now rests. A small cloak, woven of simple cloth, damp with lake water. You lift it gently, and as you do, a faint whisper brushes your ear, are not words, but the sound of a child's laugh carried on the still air. The cavern holds its silence once more. The lake is quiet. The footprints have ended. But in your hand lies proof, and in your chest, a pull stronger than before. The journey is only deepening. You clutch the damp cloak to your chest, its weight deceptively light yet heavy with meaning. The lantern's glow flickers across the cavern walls, and for a long moment you simply stand there, listening to the vast silence. Somewhere in that stillness, the boy's laughter still echoes faintly, as if woven into the stone itself. You feel the hum of the forest even here, deep beneath its roots, urging you onward. Turning from the lake, you notice a passageway carved into the far side of the cavern. It is narrow, the edges jagged, yet strands of faint light pulse within the cracks, guiding your eyes toward it. You step carefully, your boots crunching softly against gravel and moss, and the sound seems too loud in the hush. The air here smells of mineral and soil, fresh and old at once, like the very breath of the earth. As you walk, the tunnel bends and twists, narrowing at times until you must angle your lantern just so to squeeze through. But always, the glowing strands guide you, never letting darkness swallow you whole. Then, after what feels like an endless descent, the passage opens. You emerge onto a ledge overlooking a great chamber, and the sight takes your breath. Before you stretches an underground hall, vast as a cathedral, its ceiling lost in shadow. Enormous stone pillars rise like trees, their surfaces carved with spirals and constellations that glow faintly, echoing the marks you saw on the forest trees above. At the chamber's heart lies a raised dais, and on it an altar carved from living crystal. It shines with soft light, pulsing like a heartbeat. But the most striking sight is not the altar, it is the gathering. Figures stand between the pillars, their forms cloaked in shadows yet edged with faint glimmers of silver. They do not move, do not whisper, but their presence fills the air with weight. You cannot tell if they are men or women, young or old. Only that they are many, and that they wait. Your lantern flickers, and though the figures do not turn their faces, you feel every one of them aware of you. Slowly, cautiously, you step down the ledge into the hall. The sound of your footsteps seems to echo far louder than it should, and each one makes the cavern hum, as if the stone itself acknowledges you. The closer you draw to the dais, the brighter the crystal becomes, until it outshines even your lantern. When you reach the foot of the dais, the cloaked figures finally stir. One steps forward. Its form shimmers slightly, and when it speaks, the voice seems layered, as though it carries both male and female tones, ancient and youthful, all at once. The child you seek is under our care. The voice resonates through the chamber, neither threatening nor kind, but firm with truth. You hold tighter to the cloak in your arms, its dampness pressing into your palms. He was not taken, the figure continues. He was summoned. The mark of the chosen lies upon him, and he will walk where few can follow. Your chest tightens at the words. You think of the town, the mother by the fire, the way the people looked at you with hope and fear entwined. They would not understand this, they would not accept that their child is more than theirs. The figure steps closer, and for the first time you see a glimpse of its face beneath the hood, pale light, like moonshine given form. But his journey is perilous, the voice says, softer now, almost like a plea. Even those chosen may be lost, should their hearts falter. You, traveler, have been bound to him now. Not by chance, not by request, but by the will of the forest itself. The words strike deep, and in their echo you feel the truth. The hum in your chest, the pull that led you here, the way the tree opened for you, it was all part of something greater. The figure gestures to the altar. Upon its crystalline surface rests a small object. A pendant shaped like a star, its center glowing faintly with golden light. Take this, the figure intones. It will lead you when the path grows unclear. Through shadow, through silence, through trials yet unseen. You step forward, the sound of your boots ringing in the cavern like bells. The pendant gleams brighter as you near it, as though recognizing you. With steady hands, you lift it from the altar. The instant your fingers close around it, warmth floods through you, not burning but steadying, like the embrace of firelight in winter. The figures shift again, murmuring softly, their words too low to grasp but filled with gravity. Then, one by one, they fade, their silver outlines dissolving into the cavern walls until only you remain. The hum quiets, the crystal dims, and the chamber feels hollow, emptied of its keepers. You stand alone, the pendant glowing in your palm, the cloak still tucked under your arm. The lake's memory still shimmers in your mind. The child laughing, unafraid. The silence stretches, broken only by the steady rhythm of your breath. You know now that this journey is not about searching through empty woods or scouring towns. It is about walking the path laid out before you, a path bound to both Elian and the fate of the town itself. With lantern light and pendant glow, you turn back toward the passage, ready to follow wherever it leads. The forest waits above. And so does the truth. The climb back toward the surface feels longer than the descent, though you know the path is the same. The pendant rests against your chest now, glowing faintly with each step, its rhythm syncing with your heartbeat. At times the tunnel narrows until you can feel the damp stone brushing your shoulders, at other times it widens, and faint draughts of cool air whisper past you, carrying scents of pine and soil. You move steadily, lantern in one hand, the child's cloak tucked safely beneath your arm, and though the silence is deep, you no longer feel alone. The pendant's glow is company enough, its warmth a constant reminder that you have been chosen for this path. When at last you emerge from the tunnel, the forest greets you with its breath of crisp night air. The moon still hangs high, pale and steady, casting silver through the branches. The clearing with the great tree is unchanged, though the mist that once lingered has gone, replaced by a stillness that feels almost reverent. The tree itself glows faintly, as though pleased with what has passed. You pause beneath its canopy, feeling the roots hum beneath your boots and bow your head. No words are spoken, yet the gratitude within you is heard. Then you continue, stepping back onto the narrow trail that winds through the woods. The pendant begins to tug lightly as you walk, not with force but with suggestion, like a compass pointing true north. Its glow grows faintly stronger when you veer in the right direction, dimmer when you stray. With each step you feel the forest watching, not hostile but attentive, as though it is invested in your progress. Soon the trees thin, and the sound of water reaches your ears. You push through a curtain of branches and find yourself at the edge of a wide river. Its surface reflects the moon like a ribbon of silver, flowing swiftly past boulders and reeds. The pendant brightens here, its glow dancing across the water as if urging you to follow. You scan the riverbank and spot a wooden bridge farther upstream, narrow but sturdy, its posts worn smooth with age. You make your way toward it, the lantern's light bouncing across the current. Yet halfway there, a sound stops you. A voice. Low, melodic, and close. You turn, and across the river you see a figure standing in the shallows. Cloaked in grey, hood drawn low, their faces hidden in shadow. Still, the voice carries clearly over the water. You follow the boy's trail. It is not a question but a statement, as though this stranger has been waiting for you. The current between you swirls, catching moonlight like scattered gems. You do not answer, yet the figure tilts its head slightly, as if hearing your thoughts regardless. He walks paths that few survive. You step after him, not knowing where they end. The pendant warms at your chest, steady, firm. The stranger's voice flows like the river, calm, unhurried, yet filled with weight. Others have tried, the figure continues. Some were broken. Some were lost. What makes you think you will endure what lies ahead? The lantern flickers in your grip, but your heartbeat holds steady. You feel no fear in the words, only challenge, like a test laid bare before you. The river surges softly, lapping at the figure's boots, but they do not move. Then, after a pause, the voice softens. Perhaps the forest has chosen well. Perhaps it has not. Either way, the boy waits, and the time to reach him wanes. The figure lifts a hand, and for the briefest moment you glimpse something beneath the hood, eyes glimmering with pale light, like stars reflected on still water. Then the figure lowers their hand, and the river rises suddenly in a swell of mist. When it clears, the stranger is gone. You stand at the bank, the echo of their words lingering, your lantern casting ripples of light across the rushing current. The pendant warms again, stronger this time, pulling you toward the bridge. Crossing it, the boards creak under your boots, but they hold firm. On the far side, the forest grows darker, the branches arching overhead like the ceiling of a cathedral. Your footsteps fall softer here, swallowed by moss and loam, and with each one the pendant glows brighter, its pulse faster. You know you are drawing closer. Then, at the heart of the shadowed wood, you see it, a faint light flickering through the trees. Not lantern light. Not fire. Softer, steadier, like the glow of dawn captured in a single place. You step closer, and the trees part into another clearing. At its center stands a stone circle, ancient and worn, moss climbing its weathered edges. Within the circle, light rises from the ground in a column, shimmering like a veil. It sways gently, like breath. And there, within the glow, you see the outline of a child. Elian. He stands calm, his small frame bathed in light, his gaze lifted as though watching something beyond your reach. His face is serene, not afraid, not lost, but wholly at peace. The pendant burns warm against your chest. The lantern flickers. The night itself holds its breath. The clearing hums with a quiet power, as though every stone, every blade of grass, leans toward the circle. The column of light shimmers with shifting hues, pale gold, soft silver, and at times a faint blue like starlight. Within it, the child remains still, his features blurred slightly by the glow, yet you are certain it is Elian. You take a step closer, boots sinking softly into the moss. The pendant at your chest grows brighter with each pace, answering the call of the light ahead. Yet the air thickens as you near the stones, a subtle weight pressing down on your shoulders, not hostile but reverent, warning that this place is not to be entered without cause. At the edge of the circle you stop. The ancient stones loom around you, each carved with faded symbols worn nearly smooth with time. They radiate a solemn presence, as though they have stood watch for centuries, guardians of a secret few have ever witnessed. Elian's gaze lowers. For the first time, he sees you. His eyes, luminous in the glow, widen slightly, not in fear, but in recognition. The light wavers, responding to his awareness. He lifts one small hand, palm open, reaching toward you through the veil. The pendant grows hot against your chest, pulsing in rhythm with the shimmer of the column. It feels as though it is urging you to act, though you do not yet know how. The lantern sputters, dimming, its flame bending inward as if bowing before the greater light. A whisper threads through the clearing, faint but clear, not from Elian but from the stones themselves. Chosen, bridge our surrender. The words fade as quickly as they come, yet they leave their mark. You sense this is no place for force. The child cannot simply be pulled from the light. Something deeper must be given, something aligned with the forest's will. The boy's hand remains lifted, his expression calm yet pleading. The veil of light trembles faintly, as if waiting. The night is still. The river behind you murmurs in the distance. The air tastes of earth and starlight. And within the circle, the child's figure glows brighter, awaiting your next move. The weight of the clearing deepens, as though time itself slows to watch what you will do. The child's outstretched hand trembles faintly, not from fear but from the strain of reaching across a veil woven by powers far older than you. The stones hum with low resonance, each one vibrating gently as if struck by an unseen bell. You press your palm against the pendant at your chest. Its warmth steadies you, its glow now perfectly in sync with the boy's faint shimmer. You sense it was never just a trinket but a key, something given to guide this very moment. Taking a steady breath, you step closer. The light resists at first, a subtle push against your skin like a gentle current in a stream. You do not fight it. Instead, you yield, softening your movements, letting the current of the circle flow through you rather than against you. The resistance eases. Your hand lifts slowly, fingers outstretched to meet Elian's. The glow between you wavers, and for a brief moment you see past the veil, the boy's eyes, round and solemn, filled with both innocence and a burden far too heavy for his small frame. He whispers something, but the sound does not reach your ears, it echoes instead in your mind. "They will come if I leave." The words are simple, yet they carry the weight of an unspoken truth. The light flares at his voice, and the stones tremble with renewed hum. You realize then that Elian is not merely trapped, he is holding something back. Some greater tide is contained within the veil, kept at bay by his presence. The air shifts. For the first time, you hear movement beyond the stones. Branches creak not from wind but from pressure. The forest seems to draw tighter around the clearing. Shapes stir faintly in the shadows of the trees, forms not yet clear, but watching. Elian's hand reaches further. He looks at you with quiet urgency, as if asking not just to be pulled free but to be understood. The pendant glows fiercely, pulsing in your grasp, waiting for your choice. The night holds its breath. The veil shimmers. And the presence beyond the tree line draws nearer. Elian's small hand remains pressed into yours, his trembling frame still caught between two worlds, the one of ordinary childhood and the shimmering veil that bound him moments ago. The clearing hums faintly, as though the stones remember the countless souls they've tested, their watchfulness lingering even after the veil's collapse. The air has softened, but it is not calm. The retreating presence of the shadows feels more like a pause than a retreat, as if the forest itself is deciding what comes next. You steady Elian and pull him close. His eyes are no longer luminous with the veil's magic, yet they carry an awareness far older than his years. His voice comes faintly, carried on the hush of the night. "They weren't shadows," he whispers. "Not really. They were waiting for me to fail. If I had let go, they would have come." You glance toward the tree line, where the shapes lingered just moments before. Though empty now, the forest gives no comfort. You sense truth in his words, the kind of truth that carries weight in both dream and waking life. The pendant rests heavy against your chest, warm but steady. It no longer pulses in urgency but in rhythm with your heartbeat, a reminder that it will guide when needed. You lift your lantern from the ground, its flame small compared to the radiant glow you just witnessed, but it feels grounding, almost human. "Come," you murmur, and Elian nods, though his steps falter as though his strength wanes with each pace away from the circle. The stones behind you hum one last time, then fall silent, their glow vanishing into the night. You guide him onto the forest path, the one you followed into this mystery. Yet as you move further, you notice something new. The way ahead no longer resembles the trail you walked earlier. The trees have shifted, their trunks form archways as though carved by unseen hands. The canopy above opens into spiraling patterns that allow slivers of moonlight to fall in deliberate shapes across the earth, circles, lines, symbols like the faded runes carved into the stones. Elian clings closer to you, his voice so low it barely rises above breath. It's not done yet. A chill runs through you. He is right. The child may be freed, but the bond woven by that veil is not so easily severed. The forest has redrawn the path, urging you not simply to leave, but to see something through. You press forward, each step muffled on the moss. The silence of the woods is deep, yet beneath it, a faint murmur thrums, almost like the echo of a heartbeat beneath the earth. At times it grows louder, as though calling your attention, then fades again into the soil. The pendant glimmers faintly. Elian looks at it, then at you. It wants us to go deeper. You pause, torn between the thought of leading the child back to the safety of his people and the undeniable pull of whatever lies ahead. Yet the boy's words carry conviction, not fear. For a child so young, he speaks with the certainty of one who knows the patterns of things greater than himself. And so you continue. The forest arches grow more deliberate, their woven branches glowing faintly with strands of bioluminescence. It is as if the woods themselves illuminate your way. The lantern in your hand feels almost unnecessary, yet its warmth gives you courage. The deeper you travel, the stronger the hum beneath your feet grows, until it vibrates through your very bones. At last, the path opens into a vast hollow you had not seen on any map, nor could you have imagined in your waking mind. The hollow is circular, surrounded by towering oaks and ash trees, their trunks spiraled with pale veins of light. At the center lies a depression in the earth, filled with water so still it mirrors the stars above without a ripple. Elian stops at the edge, staring into the reflection. His lips part slightly, and his eyes widen. This is where they came from. You kneel beside him, gazing into the pool. At first it is nothing more than a mirror of the night sky. But then the stars within the water begin to move. Constellations shift, gathering into patterns foreign yet strangely familiar. The same runes etched into the stones of the veil shimmer now in the reflection, glowing faintly beneath the mirrored heavens. And within those patterns, shapes stir. Not shadows this time, but beings of light, tall and indistinct, as though carved from flame and mist. They move with a grace that defies weight, each step across the water sending ripples not outward but inward, deeper into the pool's mirrored depths. Elian clutches your arm tightly. His whisper trembles with awe. They are the Watchers. They keep the veil. And I was chosen to be part of it. Your chest tightens at the words. The child had not wandered into the forest by accident. He had been claimed by something vast and ancient, caught in currents far beyond his years. And though you pulled him free, the bond remains. The forest, the veil, the Watchers, they have not let go. The beings of light pause. One raises its hand, palm outward. The pendant at your chest burns with sudden intensity, answering the gesture. The water stirs, and the mirrored sky fractures. A voice resonates, not in sound but within your bones, filling every part of you at once. You have broken the seal. The weight of those words is immense. The child beside you shivers, but does not cry. He lifts his chin, meeting the gaze of the figure in the water with quiet bravery. The Watcher's presence fills the hollow, both awe-inspiring and oppressive, their will pressing against your very breath. The voice comes again, deeper this time, like stone grinding against stone. The child was chosen. His vigil has ended. Another must stand in his place. The air grows thick, your lungs heavy. You realize what the voice implies, a trade. To remove Elian from the veil is to unbalance what has been kept. Now, the forest demands another to take his role. The pendant throbs against your chest, as though alive, as though aware. The weight of choice bears down on you. Elian looks up at you, his eyes wide with both hope and fear. The watchers wait. The pool shimmers. The forest holds its breath. The silence of the hollow deepens, carrying the weight of an ancient bargain. The watchers do not move, yet their presence presses on every breath you take, a reminder that the choice demanded here is no illusion. The pool of mirrored stars glows with steady brilliance, its surface shifting with patterns that pulse in rhythm with your heartbeat. The pendant burns hotter still, as if it too recognizes the gravity of what stands before you. Elian clings to your arm, his small frame trembling yet resolute. His voice, when it comes, is quiet but certain. You can't take my place. It was me they wanted. I was chosen. His words cut deep. A boy so young should not bear the burden of destiny, yet he speaks with the clarity of one who understands more than his years allow. You see in his eyes both fear and defiance, the struggle of a child torn between freedom and duty. The watchers remain silent, their faceless visages tilted ever so slightly toward you, as though waiting for your answer. Their stillness is unnerving, yet it is not cruel. It feels inevitable, as if they are less beings than laws, embodiments of balance itself. You step closer to the pool, your reflection fractured by the shifting constellations beneath the surface. For a fleeting moment, you glimpse not yourself but countless figures. Faces blurred, silhouettes standing in this very place across ages. You are not the first to stand before the watchers, and you will not be the last. The voice rises again, this time layered, as though many tones speak as one. The veil guards the path between realms. Without its keeper, the way is open. Chaos will seep. One must remain. Elian stiffens, his grip on your arm tightening. He looks at you with a pleading urgency. If I go back, I'll be lost forever. I won't even remember who I am. His eyes glisten with tears that do not fall. Please don't let them take me. The pendant throbs like a heartbeat. It does not force you, but it steadies your courage. You sense that the choice is yours alone, that while the watchers demand balance, how that balance is fulfilled may yet be shaped. You close your eyes for a moment, breathing in the stillness. Images flash through your mind. The child's frightened parents waiting in the village, the circle of stones collapsing, the shadows in the trees recoiling from the light. You feel the pull of something larger, older, and you know that whatever you choose will echo far beyond this single night. You kneel, placing your hand on Elian's shoulder. His small form leans into you, trusting despite the fear in his eyes. The hum of the earth grows louder, vibrating through your bones as though urging you to decide. I won't let you be lost, you whisper to him, though your voice is nearly drowned by the thrumming of the hollow. When you rise again, your gaze meets the faceless figures across the water. They do not speak, yet the demand is clear, one must stay. The pool brightens, the mirrored star swirling into a spiral that reaches upward, a gateway forming between realms. Its light stretches across the hollow, bathing both you and the child in silver brilliance. The watchers extend their hands in unison, as if to receive the offering. Elian looks up at you, his trust unshaken even in this moment. What will you do? He whispers. The air holds its breath. The forest waits. And the stars in the pool swirl ever faster, pulling toward the inevitable. The hollow trembles as though the earth itself is caught in the watcher's breath. Their faceless visages remain fixed upon you, tall forms of light and shadow blending like fire behind smoke. The pool at their feet swirls with mirrored stars, the gateway opening wider until its pull tugs at your very core. The demand echoes still, one must remain, or the veil will collapse. Elian clings tighter, his small hand digging into your sleeve. His eyes, glimmering with both defiance and fear, beg you silently not to abandon him. The pendant at your chest glows so bright it casts a halo across the ground, the warmth almost unbearable. You understand now, it was never a token of protection alone. It is a tether, a bridge, perhaps even the price demanded by the veil. For a moment, you stand motionless. The world tilts around you, caught in the tension of choice. But then you kneel to Elian, steadying him with both hands on his shoulders. You've carried this burden long enough, you whisper, your voice low, steady. This is not yours to bear. Not anymore. His lips tremble. But if you take it, you hush him softly. If I take it, then you will live. That's enough. Elian shakes his head in protest, though his small body trembles with exhaustion. You'll be gone. They'll keep you forever. The village needs you. You smile faintly at his words, a tenderness stirring in your chest. The village needs you more. You are their hope, their future. You must go back. Before he can protest further, you press the pendant into his palm. Its glow dims slightly as though adjusting to his touch, but does not fade. He looks down at it with wide eyes, confusion breaking through his fear. Why are you giving this to me? Because it was always meant for you, you say. Not as a prison, but as a reminder. You are more than chosen, you are free. And when the time comes, you'll know how to use it. The watchers shift, their towering frames rippling like heat on stone. The pool of mirrored stars surges upward, forming a column of light between realms. Their voices resound, not in one tone but in countless layers, filling the hollow with a chorus like thunder wrapped in silence. The balance must hold. One must remain. You step forward, placing yourself between Elian and the pool. The weight of the watcher's gaze tightens around you, an invisible hand pressing into your chest. Yet you do not falter. You meet their faceless presence with steady defiance. I remain. The words ring louder than you expect, drawn from a place deep within you, anchored by something greater than fear. Elian cries out behind you, his small voice breaking through the hollow. No. His hand grabs at your cloak, but the light between you and the watchers grows stronger, lifting the fabric out of his reach. His cry tears through the night like a plea too ancient for his years. The watchers extend their arms. The pool erupts with brilliance, swallowing the hollow in a flood of silver light. You feel it wrap around your body, heavy yet calm, like sinking into deep water. Your limbs weigh down, your breath slows, but you do not fight. You surrender, not in defeat but in resolve. The light swells higher, and in that brightness you glimpse visions beyond the mortal realm. You see the veil stretching like a vast curtain across worlds, woven from threads of starlight and shadow. You see the countless keepers before you, souls who once stood in this very place and made the same choice. Their presence brushes against yours, not as chains but as kinship. You are not alone. Your body dissolves into the light, yet your essence remains. The watchers fold around you, weaving your being into the threads of the veil itself. You become part of its fabric, a guardian among guardians, you will stretching far beyond the hollow. The burden is heavy, but not cruel. There is peace in it, the kind of peace found only in giving wholly to something greater than yourself. And then, through the brilliance, you feel it, Elian. His small figure stands at the edge of the pool, pendant clutched tight in his hands. The glow from it pulses, echoing faintly through the veil. You hear his voice, soft but unwavering. I won't forget you. Not ever. The pool collapses back into still water, its mirrored stars settling into stillness. The hollow quiets. The watchers withdraw, their forms fading into the trees, leaving behind only the faint shimmer of runes along the trunks. The gateway is sealed. Balance holds. Elian kneels at the water's edge, the pendant glowing faintly in his grasp. His tears fall silently into the pool, rippling its surface with circles of light. But even through his grief, a strength has awakened in him, the weight of your sacrifice planted within his heart like a seed. When dawn breaks, the boy walks from the hollow. His steps are uncertain, yet the forest parts for him, its silence no longer oppressive but guiding. He returns to the village with weary eyes and the pendant still clutched in his fist. The townsfolk weep with relief at his return. They embrace him, their gratitude spilling into the morning air like a hymn. But Elian does not speak of what happened in the hollow, nor of you, not yet. He carries your memory in silence, protecting it as something sacred, something too vast for words. Years will pass. The boy will grow into a leader, wise beyond his peers, guided always by the quiet pulse of the pendant at his chest. He will tell stories of the forest, of a protector who gave everything so the balance might endure. And when others listen, they will feel your presence in the telling, even if they do not know your name. You remain within the veil, watching from beyond the stars. The burden is heavy, yes, but there is no regret. For in the sacrifice, there is life. In the balance, there is peace. And in the memory of those who live on, you will never truly be gone. The veil hums softly. The forest breathes. And within the endless night, you stand guard, timeless and unyielding, a light against the shadows forevermore.